Hello, everyone.
Hi, guys.
Hello. So Mom, found my grandmother's ledger. So mom's ledger. When she went to go visit last time, Grandma had taken it to her nursing home with her, and Mom was going through some of her stuff while she was there, and she found this. And the very first page right here, can you see? 1957. So today we're going to be talking about prices in 1957. Now we're going to go between 1957 and 72 because we found some things. She went all the way. She had, she had things written in here until 1983 is the last entry on the back page. And then it looks like here she had maybe, well, I don't know what year this would be. 2021. Oh my, she had some stuff from 2021 there. Oh,
But
that's
see, she
funny.
wasn't in, they didn't have any debts as much after the 80s.
Yeah.
You see, that's why. This is mostly she kept track of all of her debts or things she owed, but then they didn't have quite as many.
2021? What in the heck was she doing here? Oh my goodness. House in Sheridan. That's from you buying the house.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, before we get to that, guys, this video is brought to you by our Dining on a Dime cookbooks, Volume 1 and Volume 2, and then our gluten-free, dairy-free edition. Also, quick and easy recipes to get you in and out of the kitchen quick. And then our undated planners, guys, we only have a few left. Undated, 400 pages, 366 days. Everybody is absolutely loving getting themselves organized. Okay, dear, you can take it off. All right, so we're going to go through some of these pages here. And so you can see here, it started in 1957 is where Grandma started. And I went through and was looking through some of them, and look at some of the things I found. So right here, Grandma has a refrigerator for $509.
Oh my goodness.
So I went and looked it up, and a refrigerator that was $509 in 1961 is now would have cost, everybody take a wild guess. Take a wild guess at how much a $500 refrigerator would cost in 2024.
$50,000.
You think 50,000? Okay, guys, let me see if anybody has any guesses here real quick, because I'm just curious.
I paid about that for my refrigerator when I moved here.
You didn't pay $5,000 for a refrigerator, or 500?
Between $500 or $600.
Oh, $500. Yeah. So everybody's saying 600, 1,600, 7,000, 3,500, 2,000, 2,500. So if you would have bought a $500 refrigerator from 1961, now it would be $5,187.
Oh, I was thinking, I did 100 times. I was thinking 10 times.
10 times.
Yeah.
So it would have cost you $5,000. Now I went to Home Depot an hour ago. $598. Almost the same exact price without the inflation as 1961.
Mm-hmm. See, and that was probably the cheapest one they could find, too.
Yeah, and I did the cheapest one I could find.
Yeah.
So everybody's hollering about inflation.
We're making 10 times as much money.
Now, there's some interesting things. We have Mom's college on here. Okay, so the next one is the stove was $109. And if you would buy that stove now, it would cost you $1,110. The cheapest stove I could find on Home Depot was $500, basically. The next one here is hair clippers. Now, Grandma cut Uncle Jack and Grandpa's hair Pretty much, that's all. I mean, they never went to get a haircut. That's why when Grandpa was older and went to the barber, Grandma was like, "Please, you're retired. Go to the barber and get your haircut. You need to get out of the house." So
she was one.
So in 1956, those clippers were $23.36, and they would have cost $160 now. And look at what you can buy at Walmart for $14.76 today.
Mm-hmm.
The clippers are even cheaper than 1956.
And first of all, why we're showing you these prices is we get all the time people saying, well, it was so much easier not to be in debt and to live back then because prices were so cheap.
Yep.
That's just clippers dash white balls. Is that clippers and tires or just clippers?
No, that was just the clippers. So the clippers part was, let me look here. Let me just double check, but I'll make sure, but I'm pretty sure. Whoops, where'd it go? Here it is. Yes, no, it was just the clippers. Yeah. Okay, so the next one is TV. So in 1955, Grandma and Grandpa bought a TV for $289, which would cost you $289 is what Grandma and Grandpa spent. $3,285 in 1955 for a TV.
So that's the same as you having to spend that much money for a TV.
And now you can buy a TV for $88.
Yeah.
You can buy a TV for $200 less than in the 1950s.
And to put this in perspective, okay, you can get a TV for $88 now. That's 4.5 hours worth of work. And what was it, $2,000? Is that what
$3,000?
$3,000? Yeah. $3,000.
That's basically an entire month now for, so it would be the same as working an entire month for most people now.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
But they can buy a TV in just a couple of hours.
You can buy a TV by doing just about 4.5 hours worth, compared to you had to work a whole month and take your whole month's salary to buy one TV, just one little TV.
Yep.
So.
Yep. The next one is, let me go.
Well, on the TVs too. I'm sorry to interrupt. But you got to think too, I'm just amazed because we had one little tiny TV. And now, how many people have 2, 3, 4 TVs in their home?
Oh my goodness. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 TVs. Now we only use one, but we have 5 TVs.
Yeah.
Or we used 2.
And most households that I know have almost that many. And yet people say, well, it was just so much, it's so much harder now than it used to be then. We wouldn't dream of having 5 TVs. We were excited to have one. And I remember the first time, it was in the 70s, I think it was, that I knew somebody that actually had 2 TVs. And we thought that was mind-boggling to have 2 TVs.
Oh, I know.
So,
Dave. Okay. Now hospital bill was $669. Now that would cost $6,749 now. That's probably one of the 3 things in here that is actually more expensive now. You can thank the Affordable Care Act for that. Believe me, I know I'm paying cash for my hospital bills at the moment. Don't get me started on that. I'm a little ticked. Okay. The next one is, then Grandma bought a washing machine for $339.85, which would cost $3,797 now. And the cheapest washing machine at Home Depot today was $498. Almost the same price. Almost the same price. The next thing we have is a pair of shoes right here. She paid $8.59 for a pair of shoes. $85.54 is what it would be, and it costs $10 for a pair of shoes at Walmart today.
Now, for that price, it wasn't probably just a cheap pair of tennis shoes. It might have been a little bit more like loafers or something,
Okay.
but still,
Well,
you know,
there you go. You could still get them for cheap at Walmart though,
Yeah.
for probably $20
Oh, yeah.
for loafers, which is still way cheaper than $80. So that's a good deal. Okay, the next one is furniture. So we don't know what kind of furniture, how much furniture, or whatever, but Grandma and Grandpa paid $1,510 for furniture in 1965,
oh,
which is $15,000 right now.
okay.
15,
How much
do you
was
remember
that?
that? Was that the whole house thing
That
she
was
did?
the whole house thing.
But
So
still,
was-
$15,000?
It came with the house. What they did was they bought a house, and in the model,
It was a show home.
Yeah, it was a show home,
Mhm.
and in the model house, my best friend's dad was a realtor, and so he said they were wanting to get rid of the furniture that was in the show home. They couldn't use it anymore. So my mom and dad bought a whole house full of furniture. And when I say a whole household of furniture, they got the lamps, they've got the flower
Pillows, yeah.
decorations, the
Mhm.
arrangements, even
Coffee
the
tables.
ashtrays. Back
Yep.
then, everybody had ashtrays. My folks didn't
Mhm.
smoke, but you still had ashtrays for when your company came. So even down to the ashtrays, everything for all the bedrooms, the chest of drawers, the dining room table. We had
Coffee tables,
coffee
end
table.
tables. Yep.
She still
Curtains,
has
probably.
she still has some of that furniture where
Mhm.
she's at in the assisted living place. So they got all this furniture for that. It was the coolest thing. We were so excited getting that silly furniture.
But I haven't spent $15,000 in 30 years ever on furniture.
Oh yeah, no.
I haven't even come
no.
close to spending that much.
Mm-mm.
So that's like crazy expensive.
Yeah.
All right, back then. Now we've got it easy. Okay, so the next one here is another washing machine. So this is in 1972. So this is what, 15 years later. She bought another washing machine for $309, which is $2,252 now. And as you can see, today, once again, washing machine, $498. It was basically, almost not quite, what, 40% more. So that's not horrible by any stretch of the imagination. The next one is loan for their Holy Lands trip. So they took a trip to the Holy Lands and it cost them $500, which would be $3,644. Now that's actually probably not too bad for now.
Uh-uh.
I don't know. I do think it would cost two people $3,600. I bet to go to Israel now it'd be at least $5,000 or $6,000 probably.
Oh yeah, that paid for all their hotels.
So-
I think they were gone like 3 weeks at least.
So yeah, so
3
well then
weeks
probably
with
if it was 3 weeks, 10,000 probably.
Yeah, so motels and
So do you know how much Grandma and Grandpa earned?
they didn't just go to the Holy Land. They went to Greece and every place like that. So they had several airplane, trips.
Do you know how much Grandma
they
and Grandpa
earned
made?
about $360 or $70 for the first of
When they were first married?
at the first part of 1960. It was much less than that when they first were married. It was only like 100 and something.
All right, the next one is a twin mattress for Grandma Bessie. It was $50.98, which would be $479 now, and you can buy one for $92 at Home Depot today. So it is double the price, but as far as inflation goes, and then they bought another TV, a portable TV then in 1966. Wow, for $50. Now, gets interesting. So here they have Mom's College. 1 year of college for Mom in 1969 was $600. So guess how much that would be now? $4,981 for your college.
But
How much is a college semester now? $25,000 a semester. So that was cheaper back then.
Yeah, it was.
And you only went 1 year, but still, yeah, before college got taken over by crazies. Okay, the next one here is, oh, here we go. Burial plots. So when Grandma Bessie died, they bought 3 burial plots for $675. And that would be $3,800 now for the 3 of them. But burial plots now cost between $525, so probably like in Mississippi, Alabama, it would be $500. But in other places, it's $5,000.
Oh my word! I'll go to Mississippi to be buried.
So that would be about $15,000 now to bury someone versus back then when it would have been $3,000 for us. Isn't that crazy? Absolutely crazy. Huh? Yeah, so that's why Mike, when I go, he's just going to dig a hole and roll me in. So here's the thing. There are some things that are more expensive, like going to college, which you shouldn't be doing anyway. Sorry. Unless you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer, you shouldn't be going to college, period. Now, it is a 100% waste of money. But I don't know what you could do about dying. I guess you could be cremated. But I really don't want you sitting in my closet.
I don't want to sit in your closet.
And I certainly don't want you sitting on my mantle staring at me every day.
Oh my goodness. I don't want to be in your closet.
You just dig a hole. So I don't know how you would save on burial. And as far as medical, you can shop around for medical if you're paying cash. Now, most people don't pay cash, they pay insurance. So the whole thing's just a ripoff now anyway for the whole medical thing. So, you know, if you're paying cash, you can shop around. But
well, one of the things too, when I started thinking about it as how many, like I said before, how many hours we had to work compared to what you have to work now, it's just like, no wonder people didn't have as much back then, because you just be working yourself to death all the time. And I guess what I'm saying this is we need to be a little more grateful about what we have. I mean, it's just mind-boggling, the stuff that we have. Even little things like, I remember when I was in school, my mom would not allow us to just, a regular old piece of notebook paper. We were not allowed to use that notebook paper to just scribble on or to, do a note or picture or something like that. We had to use scratch paper. So in other words, if we had turned a paper in and the teacher sent it back, gave it back to us, and the back of it was blank and we didn't need it anymore, for scribbling and that, we had to use the back of that paper. We didn't just do it. And even now, I never buy those cute little notepads and things they have at the Dollar Tree and all that. I never get those. What I do is I get a couple of them for nothing, for just different things in the mail. And even those silly notebooks pads that I get for free, to this day, I will tear off half a sheet and only use a half of one of those little notepads to write my list on. Or I won't even just rip off a whole sheet. How many people just use notebooks and just tear and use the paper? We weren't allowed to use, like the things like the red plastic cups that you can toss, for disposable cups that you can buy now. When you have people over, you have these red plastic cups and everybody uses them and they throw them away. My mom would never, ever throw those away, even though they were supposed to be disposable. She would just stick them in the dishwasher and rewash them. You just didn't throw stuff away. You use things up. And we're so bad now, I think, about just tossing everything and wasting a lot. The rags, we always talk about the rags. That was another thing. We didn't use paper towels for hardly anything. We just used the rags.
Well, people are always like, well, Tara, how in the world do you use one roll of paper towels a year? I just don't use them. The
Yeah.
only thing I use paper towels for is to clean my bathrooms and to clean my windows.
And I drain
That's
bacon
it.
on mine, and that's all.
And bacon.
Yeah.
Those are the only 3 things. And occasionally if Mike's doing some car work or something, then I'll have him use them for oily type stuff. But even with that, we don't even go through an entire roll in a year. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to test paper towels for a video, and we're going to have paper towels out the wazoo till we're dead because we don't go through them that much.
Yeah, I've got the same rule. We moved here, 3 years ago, and 3.5 years ago or something like that. And I had the same roll of paper towels as when I moved here. So we just, go through so much of that stuff like that we don't need to waste and use.
So somebody was asking, what does it say on the front? It says notebook. That's all it said. It was notebook. So, but I think it's very funny. So while grandma's last entry in here was when mom moved to the house here 2 years ago. We borrowed some money from grandma. We were transferring from the business and all. It was a big to do. So we just borrowed it from grandma. And so grandma has on here how we paid her back on that.
And we were paying her back right away, but we had to
Yeah.
get the bank transfer
Yeah.
because we were new here and everything and with the book stuff. And so we needed the cash right away. So she sent us that just to use for the moment.
But you know what? After looking at this, though, I can see why Grandma and Grandpa never had any money because they financed everything.
I know. Up until the late 80s, and they got all out of debt then.
They had to finance a $5. It cost them $5 to make one phone call to Grandpa overseas. For Grandma to call Grandpa overseas, it cost her $5, and she had to borrow the money to pay for that.
Mm-hmm. People don't understand some of the things we do have that aren't that much, and that is free calling any place you want half the time in the world. You can call. I talked to Tar and Mike when they were in England. It didn't cost anything. It was $30 for 10 minutes when I called my husband in Korea to just let him know Tar had been born. And so that was $30 for 10 minutes of talking. Considering we were making $200 and some odd dollars a month, that was 1/10 of a monthly income that I used to make a 10-minute phone call. And we don't have to do things like that. Another thing, though, even though they had some debt here, I want you to note, my mom kept track of every penny, and she carefully wrote it down, what she borrowed, what she took, when she paid a payment. And I think that's another thing we have a big problem with now is she could tell you pretty much what their money was doing at all times. Most people, could you tell me how much money you got in your bank now? Could you tell me what's on all your credit cards, how much you owe on your credit cards? Very few people can actually do that just off the top of their head. And you have no idea. And you just, at the end of the month or when you pay your bills, you just kind of look at what the minimum is and you just pay it. And you don't even really scan the whole thing. She kept track, looked over all of her bills up until she went into the assisted living. Even now, when she gets something at assisted living, she carefully looks over what was spent or anything like that. And the bills and stuff, she gets something in. And so we don't know what we're doing with our money, but she kept careful track of it, And I think that's part of our problem.
Here's all of her income from sewing right here. She tracked all of her income for sewing.
That was her regular job that she did all the time. Well, I mean, all the time at that period.
Oh my, I got some questions in this thing. Now that I'm kind of looking at that, I'm like, okay, Grandma. Yeah, I mean, people say inflation. Here you go. You can take that home now. Everybody says that inflation is just crazy and you can't afford to buy groceries today. No, you can't afford to buy groceries that are ridiculous. Like I heard on Dave Ramsey today, the guy was like, well, I know I need to be spending more, but I spend $35 a week on groceries, and they were just horrified. And I'm like, $35 a week on groceries can let you eat very well. As a matter of fact, on Super Easy Recipes, I'm doing videos where I show I cooked 5 dinners. Monday's video is 5 chicken breast dinners. not even chicken quarters, 5 chicken breast dinners, and it was $20 for all 5 dinners to feed 4 people. And we had 8 lunches with that too.
It's doable. Yeah.
It is absolutely doable. It's absolutely doable.
We just can't get over some of our I have to have this type foods. We've got, I mean, really, I say it a million times, food has become our God. It really has. We worry about the ingredients. We think about it all the time. We can only have this special stuff or that special stuff or this kind or this brand and we worry and stew over our food way more and how we're going to spend our money on our food and stuff, even more so than we read our Bible or think about, God half the time. And when I say it's become a God, it really has in so many different ways. People just worry about that food constantly.
All right, if you guys have comments or questions, please post them in the comment section and Mike will send them to me. Let me get to the first ones here. Kimberly, see, here's a perfect example. Kimberly got 12 pounds of hamburger. There was no limit, but she was limited to her pocketbook. I think she said it was $2.49 a pound. It's just my husband and I, so that along with that, with what I already have in the freezer, that will last us quite a long time. See right there. Cindy, hello from Ohio. I've never been on live. Well, hello.
Yeah.
She went to the restaurant today for the first time in 2 or 3 years. Why were we the only ones with doggy bags? Oh my goodness, don't get me started on that.
Isn't that the truth?
Mike and I'm not kidding. Now, we aren't the only ones. I'm not going to say we're the only ones, but I would say probably every time we go out to eat, I only see 1 or 2 people in the hour that we're there that take home their food aside from us.
The same goes for me. Every time I go, I just sit there. And it's not just a little bit that they leave. They leave mounds of food, just mounds of food.
Okay, Mike, tell them what happened at the Olive Garden.
You throw me out? Oh, you threw me out. Oh, you turn me off.
Yeah. So I went to I went to an Olive Garden with a big group of people recently. And I didn't necessarily choose it, but I was like, oh, I haven't eaten there in like 15 years. I went there and the group of people ordered all these things and I noticed that almost all of them left more than half of their food. And I got a box for mine, I got a box for his, and they had all the salads, the whole bunches of the salads were virtually untouched. Well, they were untouched, the ones, the group salads and the breadsticks that, they put on the table for everyone. So I got a bunch of extra doggy bags or boxes, and I took like 4 of the things of bread and like 3 salads that they were just going to throw away after we left, and brought them home for Tara and Dave and for us to have the next day for lunch.
So we had. So thank you everyone who left your salad.
But see, that goes back to.
It's funny though, because sorry, I didn't
Okay.
have I did. She said we had a lot of salad. So yeah, but I was just thinking, are we going to throw all this away? This is expensive already as it is.
But that goes back to when I was talking earlier about how we waste so much of everything, including our food. So.
All right. Judy says she loves our cookbooks. They're 25% off right now, guys. Dining on a Dime cookbooks, volume 1 and volume 2. You can eat better, spend less with ingredients you already have. Get you in and out of the kitchen quick. This video coming up on my other channel, all the recipes were made in 10 minutes or less. The pot roast one I did on Monday's video or Tuesday's video, yesterday's video, was 10 minutes or less. All these recipes. This is our gluten-free, dairy-free edition. And then our undated planner, 400 pages, 366 days. You guys can see inside all of those, but the undated planner, you don't lose any pages. And then if you want to keep track of prices, our price books, guys, right now, 25% off in the description below. Kimberly, I think my grandma still has one of the old-fashioned icebox fridges till the 1950s. She didn't get a regular refrigerator, I don't think, till Chicago stopped the ice deliveries. Wow. Bounty in the Badlands. Hello. Sorry I missed last week's live. We are vacationing. Oh, no. This is slightly different. Words matter, guys. They're not vacationing. They're vaccinating 2-year-old heifers. She loved our Bible Q&A. Yeah, words matter, guys.
That's funny because I was thinking today about how people will take words out of the Bible, out of context, and it totally changes the whole meaning of what the Bible intended for it to be.
Yes.
And then here you have that. So that's a perfect example.
And our good buddy Jonathan loves the barbecue meatball recipe from Volume 1. He says, I highly recommend it.
That's
Thank
my
you,
mom's
Jonathan.
recipe. That is the best barbecue sauce stuff.
And by the way, on the thumbnail, that is Grandma's picture. That was
It is,
her
yeah.
18-year-old, 20-year-old picture. Oops, I opened the wrong thing. Just a second. Gotta quit that because then we'll have issues. Okay. Tim and Mary Beth, but they lasted a lifetime, not 3 years. I get that, but still, they didn't last a lifetime. Grandma had to buy her new refrigerator in 15 years. That's not a lifetime.
Yeah.
By any stretch of the imagination. So
it is.
you got 10 to
slightly,
15
but
years
yeah,
out of them,
yeah.
but they
And
didn't last 50 years.
the last two wash machines I had, mine was still going, and I'd had it 15 years. So no, I had it 20 years.
How did Jill get a fridge for $500? Well, because she just got the basic refrigerator.
I went to and got a basic refrigerator at Home Depot and waited till they were on sale.
It was, hold on just a second. Let me show you here. It was, just a second. Here, I'll sing. Da, 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 da,
You're
da,
looking
da, da. So it was just the basic one like this.
See, once again, a lot of people want to get all the bells and whistles and these special ice stuff with, the water dispenser and the ice maker and all these different things. And what happens, you're talking about things lasting a lifetime. I had a really good appliance guy in Wichita that I bought my appliances from. And he says what people do is they buy these refrigerators, and you had your appliance guy tell you the same thing with all the computer stuff and all the extra things in there, and you got more stuff to break down. And so it's going to break down faster for you because you got all this extra little parts and things. And that's where people have the problem, is they want to get the top of the line with all the fun stuff in there. And so they break down faster. They're more expensive. The last one I'd had it almost 20 years. It was a basic refrigerator. And I only had one problem with it one time. And the guy came, I had it under, it wasn't under warranty. I don't get warranties, but under special insurance thing. And he fixed it. And it was just a small little thing. It wasn't a big deal. It didn't cost me hundreds of dollars to have the refrigerator repaired when I did. So see, you got to be careful on some of this. This is why the things break down a lot, is because you got more parts in there to do that.
Vicky says inflation has gone down, not up. Yes, it has. Now, things like burial plots in college, but neither one of those are necessary. You could cremate somebody, and college is definitely not necessary. College is a huge waste of money. But not only that, you can get free college. My niece went to school for free for a 4-year degree because she kept straight A's her entire high school career. It's very possible to go to college for free if you want to. The thing is, people are just lazy. It just boils down to laziness. Patricia, but things are made so cheaply now. I get that. That's not the point of the video.
Yeah, and if you're coming up with these ideas, you're not hearing what we're trying to say.
The point of the video is they may be made cheaply now, but it is still significantly cheaper. Even if you got the most expensive refrigerator that you could get, it still would only be about $5,000. Which is what Grandma paid back then. That's not inflation.
Yeah.
It's not inflation.
You'd still only have to work 4.5 hours to get a TV, no matter how, compared to a whole month working to get a TV. If your TV broke down now, well, you'd have to work another 4.5 hours in a month's time. You wouldn't even be working a whole day hardly to pay for 2 TVs. So even if it kept breaking down, you could
afford one.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, right now, I would pay $10,000 to have a quiet refrigerator. I'm not exaggerating either. I would pay $10,000 if there
Mhm.
was a quiet refrigerator. We are so mad at this dumb refrigerator now. I'm like, bring it back. I'll pay $5,000 for a refrigerator because these new things are just awful. And I get that they break down, and I get that they're not making them correctly. I get that. But the point of this video is to let you know inflation is not going up. You can get a pair of shoes for $10 if you wanted to at Walmart today.
Mhm.
So anyway, okay. Send me the next one, Mike. Okay. JM in this. Okay. Okay. Everyone is on this trip about things are made so much longer now. I
Cheaper.
get they're made to last so much longer now. But listen, it is still cheaper for me to buy a $50 vacuum from Walmart every year. I can't remember. I saw it in Grandma's thing. I think she paid like $1,000 to the equivalent now. $1,000 for a vacuum cleaner. So if I bought, I'm terrible at math. So if I bought $1,000 and I divide that by, well, okay, let's say $1,000 with inflation. Okay, please forgive me, inflation. We'll say $80 for a vacuum at Walmart right now. $1,000 divided by $80. That's 12 and a half years. I could buy vacuums before I would say the same price. I have a feeling, well, that was probably Grandma's rainbow she bought. She did have that like 30 years.
No.
Or she had that a really long time. She had
did,
it in the 90s.
Yeah, but
because she was still using
yeah,
it when
she
I
was.
was living in the
Yeah.
trailer house.
Yeah.
So she probably had that 25 years. Because let's see,
I was trying to
I don't
think
know,
if
I
that
didn't
was her
see what year
second
she
one. I was
bought.
trying to think if that was her second
Oh,
one.
if it was her second
Yeah,
one.
because I think she had two
okay.
of them.
But still, it's still cheaper. And I know the whole trash thing and all of that. I totally get it. But since they're not doing that now, what are you supposed to do? You just go buy a new vacuum every year.
Yeah.
Tina says, I never had a color TV till 1988. We didn't either. It was
No,
like, what,
you were in-
87 or 8? Or...
You were in high school. You were sick.
Yeah.
We were sick, so you were already in high school.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was the late 80s before we didn't have a remote control too, because I was so sick with my chronic fatigue, and we had just this little tiny. As a matter of fact, it wasn't huge, too much bigger than Tara's laptop here. A computer screen. It was just a little tiny thing, black and white, no remote control, because I was so sick with chronic fatigue. And sometimes if the phone would ring, I would have to turn the volume down on the TV, well, because I was just sitting there like a vegetable watching it, to answer the phone. And I was too weak to go turn the volume back up, and I could sit 2 to 3 hours watching the TV without turning the volume, before I realized I hadn't turned the volume up, because I didn't have the strength to walk. What was it? 4 feet over to our TV from the couch. It was right there by me, but I couldn't get the strength to go over because we had no remote control. I've never seen Wizard of Oz in color before. I need to just go ahead and watch it, because I've never seen the Emerald
from Satan.
I've never seen the Emerald City in color, because we didn't have a color TV. And by the time we got one, I'd already watched it a million times, so I didn't bother to watch it again. But yeah, we didn't have one either.
Patricia says she worked for months to buy a VCR for over $800 in 1987. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And Vicky says $600 for hospital bill back in the 1950s. That was a lot. Yeah. That was, I didn't put the date on the hospital bill. I don't know what date that was. That could have been Grandma Bessie being in the hospital, maybe. I don't know. Sandra, the difference between now and 1957 is attitude. Yeah.
Yeah,
people save the money.
Is.
Well, she says people save to buy the money to buy something instead of putting things on credit card, but Grandma didn't. She financed like her entire life, like everything. I was shocked. Everything was financed. I mean, they hardly made any money, just a few $100s a month.
Although you'll notice a lot of the stuff she did was like a wash machine, a dryer, a vacuum cleaner. It wasn't a lot of.
Well, it wasn't Starbucks.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Now we do all kinds of stuff. We put everything, groceries, everything on, our
Yeah,
cards.
it's ridiculous.
And that's what gets us in really big trouble.
Debbie says the problem with people complaining how much more things are now than back then is back then people were satisfied with a basic refrigerator.
They were content.
Yep, you are right. Yes, you are right.
Sometimes that's all they could get.
Yeah, and that's all they could get.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's see. Nancy, very few people had health insurance. Yeah, that's when it was cheaper. Yeah. Katie, I wonder if the TV washer they got back then was the basic models. I'm sure for grandma was the basic model. I can't imagine her getting.
Well, yeah, you didn't have a whole lot of
choices.
you had no choices. Not like now at all. You just had like 4 or 5 different brands, and you picked just one of the. Yeah, no, we had no choices.
Yeah.
Even when I got married, I had no choices hardly.
Yeah, Judy says it's hundreds of thousands of dollars in Cornell University for her grandson. That's just ridiculous. That's crazy. We need people to go to trade school. Yes, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Denise says yes, and we keep plastic cups too. I know. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Valerie says in-state university is $8,000, so that's better.
Mhm.
Well, and if you start at community college and then just finish your last 2 years at the big university, it's much cheaper too.
Well, the plumber in town was saying that they're going to not be enough plumbers pretty soon.
Yeah, Mike was talking to the plumber. We had the plumber come over. Why do we have a plumber come over? I can't remember. Oh, he's blowing out the sprinklers, and he said that he's the youngest plumber in town, and he was like 40 or 50 or something. I don't know. And he said they don't have enough plumbers for all the guys that are retiring now. And so they're just begging for plumbers.
I think it's for electricians and a lot of other those types of things, because it's such a waiting list now to get, a hold of somebody to come.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Vicky says poor Jill stuck in Tara's closet. Yeah, that would not work.
wouldn't that be scary? Can you imagine being in Tara and Mike's walk-in closet? I don't even.
I'm sorry, but
I'm sorry.
When my brother Mike's gonna take her down to the lake after
just throw me out in the pond.
I have to say it was a little weird when my brother-in-law died and my niece had him in her closet. I was kind of like, okay. I mean, I'm not like superstitious or anything, but it was just
something creepy,
strange knowing that used to be a body. It was just weird. Okay. Thank you. Kelly loves these comparison videos. Thank you. And yes, everybody saved the plastic cups and all the lists and everything. Amber says we're a society of convenience. Yes. Tammy says I live in northern Michigan. Just called 3 weeks ago on a burial. It was $300. That's because you can't get a shovel in the ground in Michigan in December. That's why. No. Yeah, I think it just depends on where you live. And I'm sure where grandma is going to be buried in Colorado, I'm sure that's got to be a $3,000 to $5,000 plot now.
Probably.
Because there's not hardly any spaces left.
Yeah.
So, Gina, why would you use them for windows? Just paper towels just get the windows the cleanest. No lint, nothing. It just gets the cleanest.
I don't use them for windows. I use my diaper or my bartender's towel.
Yeah, I don't like it. It stinks. I don't like it.
Doesn't, but I have no problem with it.
Bev says I got 1.25 for her house in Ontario, Canada, and she only paid $187. I hope you are retired in Florida now. That is great. That is great. Leona made the cheeseburger rolls from Dining on a Dime Cookbook Volume 1, and then the chicken chili from Volume 2 this week. All hits. I'm really trying to be more intentional with our food bill. And did the no eat put for January and just continuing? I don't know what that means. Maybe she means she's not buying groceries and just eating up what she has. That's what some people do. But I was totally shocked on our other channel, Super Easy Recipes. Michael put the link in there for you. But I was totally shocked as I'm doing these cooking videos. Seriously, our dinners are not more than $5. Most of them are $3 to $4 at the high end for our dinner, and that does include vegetables. Now, in the videos, I don't show all the vegetables on the side, and I need to start clarifying that because I'm just showing the main dishes. But even with I'm including in the prices the vegetables and everything, and so it's very, very doable. Very doable.
Well, I think we've been brainwashed so long now, being told that it's not doable. I mean, you know, the gal that came up, well, with the 30-minute meals and stuff, but
Oh my goodness, why would you spend 30 minutes cooking dinner?
and I first saw that, I thought, they're saying that 30 minutes is not a long time. I'm thinking that's a long time to me to make a meal. I don't spend that much time. So we're just assumed that things are more expensive. We assume that it takes longer to make the stuff and that it costs more because we've just been told that, and we just kind of believe it. You don't know how many people recently I've heard of young people say, and I'm looking at them like, oh my goodness. They said, I thought, when I talk about getting out of debt, they'll say, I thought that everybody was just in debt until they died. They had no idea that you could actually live a life without being in debt. They thought that was just part of what you did. You had a college loans that you had to pay until you died. You had all these house payments to pay until you die. I mean, they're shocked when I say you don't have to have debt.
Yeah, like
can't-
everything was 10 minutes to get in and out, and we're not putting it on credit cards. And people are like, I don't have time, so I have to put my dinner at Wendy's on a credit card.
Yeah.
They just
yeah.
assume.
And I think they've just been told, or they listen to everybody else on the internet or out there in cyberspace. They listen to all these other people doing it. And just like sheep, we just follow along and think, well, that's the way it has to be, or that's the way it is.
So Barbara says, I don't want to see a comparison video on burial plots.
She'll do one when I kick the bucket. She said let me get my camera out and take a video of this, and we'll do a comparison on Mom's plot.
I'll start calling around the country to see where Mom's going to be buried.
Yeah, where I'm going to take her to.
And we'll holler in the back of the pickup. Oh no, we could holler in the back of the 4Runner right now. We have room.
Yeah, you could. You could.
In the back of the 4Runner. If she croaks.
When I croaks.
Now, if we bring the boys with us for the funeral service, we might have to fold her in half. But
just cut me up in pieces and it won't take up as much room or something. Put me in a suitcase.
I think there's some law or something about that.
You think?
Denise, or no, let's see, Assyrian, she will be mortgage free in 1 year. Good job. 10 years.
Way
they got
to
it paid
go.
off. Good job. Yes, we are hoping to have ours paid off in just a few months, hopefully. Becca, got my hair done today. My daughter's a cosmetologist. It's free. That's something to
lucky
take
you,
advantage of.
yeah.
Carol, my mom even bandaged our cuts with old sheet strips, cut sheets into dish towels. I know.
Oh,
I'm going to be doing that.
I'm desperate for some worn sheets because I use them for everything.
Well, just buy one at the thrift store.
Well, I don't want any. I just want an old one that you're getting rid of.
It's $1.
I know.
Go buy one at the thrift store.
Tell them what happened to you. Talking about.
I'm about to start.
Oh my goodness! I couldn't believe how big the area was. Go ahead.
So I had to put a bandage on my stomach, and I was like, "Man, this thing's itching." I thought, okay, whatever. I thought it was just rubbing on my jeans or something. And so I left it on all day, and that night I went to go get in the tub and I looked down and I was like, holy moly, it was red where the adhesive on each side was. So I ripped it off and it burned a hole in my stomach on each side and took the whole top layer of skin off.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrible.
It's big. It was two big, huge spots.
It's horrible. And now it's getting infected.
I was going to say, it looks infected.
So I may be the first one to have the burial plot.
I've never heard of that before. And you said you'd used them before, though. And
that's what's so weird is I had already put a Band-Aid on there 3 times in different places. Because I've done this before on my finger. And so I always tell them at the hospital now I'm allergic to latex because I don't know which bandages are going to hurt and which aren't. And whatever I've been using must have been fine. Well, I got these waterproof ones because I take a bath. And I thought, okay, I'll leave it on for 2 days. I'll get a waterproof one. And I'd been turning it, and the first 2 didn't do anything. So I don't know.
The waterproof ones were treated with something extra.
I don't know. So
Yeah, it was pretty wicked looking when she showed me.
It's bad. Vicky says, when I buy solo cups for the holidays, I take them out of the garbage and clean them in the dishwasher. Yes, Grandma did that too. Sarah, did you mention how much Jill's mortgage payments were each month back then and now, and how much the minimum wage was? So she's asking you, but for Grandma, I don't know. Do you remember what Grandma's mortgage payment?
I don't remember what hers
And I don't
was.
think she said the mortgage in here.
I don't think so.
Mom thought they made around $200. Well, wait, what's this?
Well, they
right
made
here?
$300 after Grandpa got out of the military.
Oh, that's the car. So they
In the
financed
60s.
their car for $1,700.
Now,
got the car.
in the early 70s, 73,
Sears.
my house mortgage was, I think it was $110 a month for my house mortgage.
So grandma's,
And we made, we made about $350 then. It was under $400.
so grandma's vacuum was a filter queen.
Yeah.
$2,510 now. She paid $249 for it.
She loved that filter queen.
Yep. Well, she had it a long time. If it's the same one,
I think she had to get a second one maybe, but look at how neat all of her.
Here, groceries. Oh! Don't even tell me. Oh my goodness. All you spoiled little turds complaining about groceries. Oh my goodness. January 1963, $100 for groceries. $1,000 now.
And you know what? She bought her groceries.
Oh,
it's
my
even
goodness.
worse.
That's
than
at
that.
the commissary.
Yeah, I was going to say it's even worse because she bought all of her groceries at the commissary. And to give you, now these aren't exact numbers, but to give you kind of a comparison, normal people would pay $1.50 a box for cereal, and we could get it for 50 cents at the commissary because the prices were so much cheaper for the military at the commissary. Now I don't think it's quite the same because we have Walmart and places like that. But at that time, you could get really cheap groceries. So that was commissary groceries.
Her Encyclopedia Britannica, $14.35 for 12 payments.
Anybody else out there have the set of Encyclopedia Britannica or remember having to use those? We didn't have internet. And so when we had to look things up for school, it was like a big deal.
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't see Homestead House. Oh, that's a furniture store. I got some things to say about this. I'm looking at this. I shouldn't be looking at this too close.
Nope.
It's nothing risque. Don't worry.
No, it's not bad.
People will take that wrong.
She's talking
nowadays.
about grandma
Something
spending
else.
money on certain things like.
Okay, so here, Grandma Addie for trailer. So they paid $4,000 for Grandma Addie trailer house.
No.
In 1990.
That was the trailer house Eula stayed in. She bought it.
They bought it from Grandma Addie for $4,000. Wow.
Mm-hmm. It was just a little bitty, tiny thing.
Well, that's not right because Uncle Hugh was in there before 1990. He was in there in the 80s. I stayed in it in 1990.
Was it their little white one?
Oh, I don't know. Well, so what's this?
She's discovering all this stuff about what her grandparents are spending their money on.
I've got some comments on your finances here, Grandma. Actually, Grandma did really
She
good.
did.
I mean, I'm joking around, but
my dad was a spender. He would spend money on car parts. He restored Model A's and Model T's, and she'd just go insane because he'd buy.
That's where all their money went.
Yeah, that's where all their money went, was to the car parts. And he did need, when they first were married, he always bought a brand new car. He was that type of thing, and they didn't have.
Put on your glasses. What is my grandmother doing paying for this?
Oh, well, he was.
I don't care.
He was over 20 then. Oh my goodness. That's no fair. I didn't get
I
any
guess-
of those.
I think you need to have some words with Grandma.
I feel gypped now that my brother
She was
got
paying
something.
for my adult uncle's speeding tickets.
What?
She never paid for my speeding tickets.
How much was that?
This is like a family history here.
We're gonna start Days of Our Lives.
Scandal.
Oh, she doesn't have the price.
Oh, she doesn't. Oh my goodness.
Grandpa, he got a ticket for driving on the wrong side of the road. He got a ticket for speeding. He got another ticket for speeding and another wrong side of the road. What is Grandpa doing driving on the wrong side of the road?
You'd think he was an alcoholic or something. My dad never touched a drop of alcohol. He just drank Pepsi. Oh my goodness.
I'm putting that up for now.
My dad and brother,
Grandma,
both were
we're gonna have some words.
speed demons. They really were scared. They scared me to death. They really did scare me to death when I rode with them. They always drove too fast.
Okay.
Oh goodness.
I'm having some issues here.
Although I'm surprised Grandpa had too many speeding tickets. My dad had a knack. I don't know how many times he got pulled over.
He was always getting pulled over.
Yeah, and he could sweet talk those patrolmen. I would sit there and watch.
Well, he was a middle child. That's why.
Is that why?
Yeah.
He would just sit there and sweet talk those patrolmen out of those tickets every time. I never seen anything like it. If you know how much he was speeding and how much they traveled all the time, that was nothing compared to what he should have had.
Send me the next one, dear. Mary Ellen says, I take my sister-in-law shopping and tell her, shop what's on sale. Yes.
Very good.
By the way, you heard it here first. Go get your eggs. Another chicken plant burned down. And I have, let's see, how do I say this? Someone close to the source emailed me and told me that it burned down. And if you hear all these conspiracy prepping people saying how they're burning down the food plants now, it wasn't it. It was an accident. And they know how it started. It's none of this conspiracy stuff either that you're going to be hearing.
Here I was going to get some this past week because they were on sale and I didn't get any,
Yeah,
so I'm
so
out.
If you need eggs, go get them because they're probably going to be going up.
Maybe they like to race back then, Maria.
They like to race back then. Oh, yeah. Debbie, I've been wanting to tell you how good your cookbooks are.
Oh, thank you.
I absolutely love every recipe I've made. Thank you again for showing us how to save and your wisdom on a lot of life issues. I truly love watching and listening to your show. Thank you. Guys,
I get
25%
comments
off
on the
right now.
website about you guys enjoying the recipes, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to let us know. I really do.
So if you want to save money, 25% off in the description below right now. And we have our undated planners. We have a few of our planners left. 400 pages, 366 days. You can see every single page of our books, guys. On the sale page, we have a flip through thing that shows every single page. Jennifer, hello, Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer.
Everybody loved the Bible show. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Mike, you had a request for a daily devotional. Vicki.
Can I answer a question on the Bible show that we didn't answer? Real short one.
I guess.
Somebody asked. We didn't get all the answers the questions answered on the Bible show, and this is just a real quick, easy one. Somebody asked. She heard people using Jesus' name by calling him Yeshua, and for God they would use the word. It's Y-A-H. I don't know how to pronounce it. Yah, I think it is. And she was wondering if that was okay to be calling Jesus that. Yeshua is just the Hebrew word for Jesus. And Yah is the shortened version for God. They took and God's name was so holy to the Jews even the scribes, when they would write it, they didn't even want to write all the letters. They'd leave the vowels out when writing God's name because it was so special to them and holy that they didn't feel worthy of writing it. So sometimes YAH is one of the names they used for God to shorten it. And if you can remember this, because the word hallelujah is sometimes spelled, it's JAH on the end of Alleluia or YAH on the end of it. And hallelujah means praise God. So that's just, both of those are perfectly fine terms. They're just Hebrew for Jesus and God. I just thought I'd answer that really quick.
Oh, cow. Cookie Dough says, my cremated husband is in my closet because my local cemetery wants $5,000 to put him in the cremation garden. That's ridiculous.
Oh my goodness.
We'll put you in the basement.
We travel somewhere to a nice spot.
We'll put you with the Christmas decorations in the basement.
Oh, thanks.
Where do you want to be, dear? Where do you want to be?
You said cremate.
For that price? I got stuff to do after you go. Sorry.
Just dig a hole, like you said.
Well, I could dig a hole. Wonder how long I could get before anybody would miss you. Stephanie, I still have rags that were my parents. Yeah, actually, one of my videos coming up on Super Easy Recipes, there's a dish towel, and don't anybody be sending me any emails. It's a rag, but it was of a little black baby on there. I'm sure somebody's going to send me some emails or something of it. But it was a little black baby that my great grandmother sewed, and it was probably, oh my gosh, she probably sewed that in the
dish towel I gave you?
40 or 50s. Yeah, wasn't that Grandma Eddie's?
Yeah. No, she did those for my wedding.
Oh, it was yours?
Yeah,
oh, 70s.
Mm-hmm.
So 50 years old. 50 years
Mm-hmm.
old.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Jane, hello from Wisconsin. It's 50 degrees. Wow. We're having a heat
Oh,
wave.
yeah.
Tanya, her deal last week, 3 boxes of Christmas cookie mix for 33 cents a box. That's great.
Ooh, that's good.
Chrissy, she was the remote control. Yes.
I know.
Mm-hmm. Barbara says, my dad had an electronic repair store. We had a TV and stereo in every room.
That's good.
Robin, when I was 21, I bought my first house. Interest in 1978 was 18%, and you had to put down 20%. I know, people are
I know,
today.
that's what we had to do too.
It's the same. Kayla, all human stomachs, I think, are about the size of a fist. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They're outstretched by eating. I know I struggle with gluttony, but if I can imagine first the size portion of food, people will save incredible amounts of money. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Crafting with Terry Lynn says, I buy brisket on sale and grind it for hamburger meat. Very good.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
And it tastes so much better. Wanda, I love bringing home doggy bags. Yes, another meal you don't have to cook. Yeah, that's what I can't figure out.
I know.
I mean, I guess I could get it. We're a tourist town, so maybe in the summer. But most hotels even now have microwaves and refrigerators, so even that's not an excuse.
And a lot of these people coming here have coolers because they're going camping and stuff.
That
So
means that people are paranoid and they think that there's something wrong with it after it's like when they go bad.
Yeah, they think it's going to go bad.
It used to be a stigma. It was, and you were looked down upon if you would take your food home with you years ago. You know, nobody ever. I remember when I first started taking doggy bags home, it was just like people were kind of horrified when you did that. I don't know why.
We can't turn off the ads. I'm really sorry, guys. That's YouTube. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm so sorry. Patty, Mike did put them on conservative though. So we can choose if we have high ad volume or low ad volume, and he did put it on the low. So sorry about that. Patty, starting tomorrow, Giant Eagle has 80% ground beef for $1.79 a pound. Wow, I'm going to go to Ohio. That's a good deal. Kenneth, do you know I prayed several years ago and immediately found your channel life-saving. Thank you eternally. You're welcome.
Oh, thank you.
You've been with us for a while, too.
Yeah.
Thank you for not
leaving. For not leaving us. For hanging in there with us.
I pretty much took somebody off every show. So. Marianne, gentleman could not find the on-sale chicken this morning, showed him, and then asked if he clipped the digital coupon, had to explain to him. He didn't know he had to clip it for the sale. I know those digital coupons are awful. Absolutely awful. And Karen loves our chocolate chip cookies. I don't know if it's the volume 1 or the volume 2 chocolate chip cookies. We have 2 different ones, but thank you very much. Mm-hmm. Debbie, my adult daughter, and I always take a doggy bag home. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And Leanne says she absolutely loves the planner. Thank you for the fast shipping. I will tell everyone about it that will listen. Well, thank you. Appreciate you spreading the word. Nancy, I'm thankful to have a few family hand-down antiques, also for health insurance. Yes, be thankful for health insurance. Let me tell you, be very thankful for health insurance. So we have to get this whole stomach thing going on. We have to get a stomach scope here in our town. They wanted $6,600 for it. And if we would go 5 hours to Fort Collins, Colorado, it would be $1,200. I'm like, seriously. So it's just like, it's ridiculous. So if I have a heart attack, I'm going to die because I'm so mad at this hospital. I could just spit nails.
You don't want Michael to have to pay to revive you, huh?
No, you better not revive me. If you revive me, I'm going to come back and haunt you.
I just need to call Cheyenne and tell them if you die, they're going to have to do a state funeral.
State funeral.
State funeral. That is a frugal way to go, state funeral, Michael.
No, I mean, like the Queen.
God save the Queen.
Yeah, really.
KB played $400 for their burial plot in Tennessee. All right, we're burying you in Tennessee.
You're going to take me to you're going to spend $10,000 to take me to Tennessee, huh?
Vicky says the Wi-Fi refrigerators are crazy. People pay $5,000 for a fridge just to use it on their computer. I know. Seriously?
I know. I'm sorry.
Shay has been enjoying the maple glazed chicken in our Dining on a Dime Volume 1. It's such a nice change to hear our oldest child likes the food I make, and it's not pepperoni pizza. That's our number one. That and the honey glazed chicken. Those go back and forth between our number one article on our website. So you can get that at Living on a Dime too if you want to try it out first.
Mm-hmm.
And Super Easy Recipes. I made it on Super Easy Recipes also. Greatest ever. We have been plagued with sickness and can't eat much, so we like the leftovers. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Janet, I bought the super basic dishwasher for that reason. Yep.
Yeah.
Kristen, my fridge is 11 years old. Bought at Sears before they closed in Canada. Just the basic model. Yep. Greatest ever. I started college and high school and got a scholarship to finish, but I wouldn't say it was easy by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, that's what my kids did. My kids went to a charter school that you could get your associate's degree while you were in high school. And neither one of them decided to do that. But my daughter graduated high school with 26 college credits. So, it's her first 2 years could have been free.
There's a way to do it. My son even, it wasn't so much, well, it was a little bit of college credits. He worked at a company where they would pay, for stuff like that. So you can do things. There's ways to do this. Yeah.
Nikki, my bedroom TV is over 25 years old. Wow. Yeah, we have a TV in our bedroom that the old owners left, and I want to take that thing off the wall. It drives me nuts. But I'm like, would anybody even buy it? I don't know if people would even buy it. Mama says, we keep fixing our refrigerator thanks to YouTube. See, there you go. Her vacuum costs $50 off a marketplace. Yep. Let's see. Gina, why would you watch it? I hate that movie. Scared me as a child. Thank you, Gina. The Wizard of Oz is from Satan.
Yes, that's why I haven't watched it.
It should not be allowed at all.
It was spooky.
It's awful.
Going back to the other ones about the appliances breaking down and stuff. My mom taught me something that I've done this for years. And this is one of the reasons I never had my kids do their own laundry. I know a lot of people do it now, and they just have their kids, teach the kids young to do their own laundry. And I did teach them how to do their laundry and made them help me with the laundry. But we did it all. I did it as a family, the family laundry, because my mom always said, don't run a load of laundry unless the wash machine's full, because each time you run it, you're wearing it out, more and more. So let's say you have 5 people in the family and they each do one or two, where you could have maybe consolidated that to 2 to 3 loads. You're doing almost double the amount of loads then. Or kids, they take and need a shirt for school in the morning, and they'll take that top and one other thing and throw it in the wash machine and wash it up, and throw it in the dryer. So you now have used that appliance just to wash a couple of things. So just watch your stuff as you use it. Don't use your dishwasher until you've got it totally full, because we just run these appliances constantly. So try to do double whammy. If you're baking something in the oven, make sure you're maybe cooking something for dinner that's a couple of other things that you can bake in there. It all helps. I know that sounds like something little, but over time that stuff can add up.
Vicky
Okay,
says,
I'm sorry. You got a piece of lint on your
what
shirt.
am I doing?
You have a piece of lint on there, and I so used to pulling. Okay, quilters, you understand me picking her lint off of there. I'm sorry.
Would you leave my lint alone?
I'm sorry.
I have a bubble.
I know she does have her bubble, and I went past it. And you saw how she
Invading
reacted.
my bubble.
You see how she reacted because I invaded her bubble.
Mike invades my bubble every day.
I know.
Get out of my bubble. Leave my bubble alone.
We love you anyway, don't we, Michael? Love her anyway.
Chicken stamps. Okay. I don't know why that.
This is the name of the user.
Okay, I know, but I don't know why that's your name, but okay.
That's
I don't think people realize how much money plumbers and electricians actually make. Yes. And Grace Ever, plumber and electricians are great. Why are they struggling to pay our real life gods? Why are they struggling to find paid volunteers? And Vicky says, a guy I know which trade school makes $100,000 a year. Yes, college is not necessary to make $100,000 a year by any stretch of the imagination.
At this point, I don't have any numbers, but I would say just from practical stuff that I know and I've heard about from plumbers and electricians, you almost make more money going to trade school, unless you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. But you make more money going to a trade school by the time you pay off all your debt and the interest on the debt. You know, you don't make as much money going to college for something usually.
Margot, my mom has the ashes of her parents, her bird, and my stepfather. Oh my goodness. When she goes, what am I going to do with all those ashes? You know what, Margot? Find a nice lake. I'm sorry. That's
just
crazy.
Have a little service or dig a big hole in
and
the
make
backyard.
Sure you're doing it so the wind is blowing away from you. Lori, what's the latest with your pantry? When do we get to see it? Has it been put back together since the remodel? Yeah, we did a whole back last June. I think I did a whole pantry reveal and kitchen reveal, and you can see it. Barbara says I might accidentally declutter Jill from the closet. Yeah. Barbara, I don't. Oh yeah, sorry, got that one. Chrissy, do you use canned, fresh, or frozen veggies? I use frozen the most. So frozen and then canned. No, frozen and then fresh and then canned is how I
use whatever's the cheapest or in season, probably.
So frozen is usually the cheapest, though. Vicky, oh wow. Okay, sorry, I got off track here. Wanda, my husband was a veteran and was buried for free. Yes, very good. Vicky, I pour hydrogen peroxide on infected sores. It heals faster. Yes, I'm going to soak tonight in the tub in a salt bath, and that'll be real fun. But I'm going to do it anyway. Debbie, people overeat. Portions are too large. Yes. Becca, I'm living on a dime, girl. No 30 minutes spent on dinner. I know, this whole 30-minute meal thing is ridiculous. And no offense to Kimmy, my favorite second YouTuber in the whole wide world, but these frozen
You're first and she's second.
These frozen dinners, now Kimmy doesn't do it this way, I don't think, but these frozen dinners where they spend 2 days packaging, or even 1 day packaging all these meals, 30 meals for the month, and they spend all day cooking it. I could have had it done in less time for all those meals than they spend packaging all this stuff. And it never makes sense. Why do you take packages of stuff and put it all in a bag and then freeze it and pull it out? Why don't you just take the packages of stuff and just dump it in the crock pot? It really makes no sense. Tanya, my mom said I'll always have a car payment. I told her, not me. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jan. Kenneth just loves you, Mom. Kenneth,
Oh, Kenneth,
we need to have a conversation.
with Kenneth.
Do we have anything
You've
in
been
common
with us
here?
really a long time, haven't you, Kenneth?
Maybe we need to discuss marriage proposals here.
Yeah, you haven't done that for a
Jen,
while,
we
have
need
you?
to work on that. Jen, I know you said before, but how do I convert a recipe from your book to a crock pot recipe for the time and cook it? So basically, on slow cooking, like your turkeys and your pot roasts and all of that, when you're cooking it low all day, just put it on low in your crock pot. If you're cooking it on high, 350 degrees in your oven, it's basically high in your crock pot. It's what it basically is. So just
250 degrees in the oven is equal to low in crock pot. 350 degrees is high in crock pot.
Yeah. So do it, for the same amount of time. Missouri funerals around $16,000. Have mercy. Good grief.
Missouri, wow.
Or Missouri. What did I say?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm just shocked the Missouri.
Yeah. You can send me the next one, Mike. Marilyn Monroe says the cemetery charged $500 to open and close the grave where my mom is buried. Our family already owned the plot. We didn't have the canopy and chairs, just the people and the pastor standing. Sweet, simple. They charged $550 just to open. Oh my goodness, just to open up the plot. Wow.
Bring your shovels.
Yeah, everybody bring your shovels.
Michael said, "Everybody bring your shovels." Oh my goodness. We're not being disrespectful here, but oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
But this is a frugal channel now, so.
Okay, so the cemetery is still open. Maybe we should call and see how much it is. No, I think they're closed. Becca, if you have a gluten intolerance, you're allergic to the glue in the bandage. It's got wheat gluten in it? Seriously? I'm going to have to look that up.
Glue is gluten, yeah.
I will have to look that up. Oh my goodness, if that's the reaction I had on my skin, no wonder I feel awful when I eat gluten. Wow. Mama, I have my great-grandfather's ledgers from the 1800s. Wow. He tracked every penny. I know they did, didn't they?
They kept track of their stuff.
Let's see. Mike sent the next ones. Donice, my mama would always be mad when Daddy would go buy a new car. Oh my goodness. If I was married to my grandfather, I would have been divorced. That man had so many. That would have been my son. That would have been weird. That man.
Well, he was from, whenever.
Bought so many cars. Well, he's from Kentucky. That explains a lot. But just kidding.
Just kidding, Kentucky. We love you in Kentucky.
There are some stereotypes. Just saying. Oh no.
See, I was
the ledger's falling apart.
I was picking stuff
the
off of you and you were hollering at me.
But Grandpa, oh my goodness, he was always buying a new car. I'm sorry, I don't know how he did not end up dead in his sleep. Because if I was Grandma, I would have killed that man. He probably spent, I'm sure, at least half to 3/4 of their income on cars.
Oh yeah,
it was ridiculous.
It was crazy. It was awful.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Becky Ann, $1.99 for 80/20. Wow, for hamburger. That's a great deal. Kathy, my husband's mom didn't want us to go into debt for funeral costs, so I asked the funeral director for a price list and told him I wanted to take off the cost. Oh, and what she wanted to take off. Oh, that's a good idea, Kathy.
Yeah.
Because seriously, do you really need embroidered on the inside of the casket, Mom? So Mom can look at it for eternity?
Well, even like my mom said, she doesn't want a full-fledged funeral and all the rigmarole. She said, just do a quiet graveside service, nothing big, nothing, just have her there and bury her.
That's what I told Mike. Just you and the kids stand at the graveside and just drop me in.
Yeah.
Just put me in a body bag. I got a nice Christmas tree bag down in the basement. You can just throw me in that and plop me in the ground. Okay. Maybe we should save some of our dining boxes. Melissa, I will be making the last payment on 12 years early on a 30-year note. Very good. Good
You
job.
guys are really doing good paying your stuff off. I'm so proud of you. You seriously are.
That's it, Mike. Melissa, I will be making the last payments this. Oh, wait. Val, my husband told me about the eggs 2 weeks ago. We stocked up. Yes, this fire happened. It was 10 days or 2 weeks ago. And somebody said, Kathy, I am using the Meta Honey, but it's not working, unfortunately. Jan says, I get eggs at Walmart from the local Hutterites. Yes. Although they're not really cheaper usually, but it just depends on how much eggs are. Jim says, plan to use the planner someday. Remind me.
That's good, Jim. That's
Open
a
up
good
that
one. Oh, that's too funny.
Nancy, my grandson has to use latex-free bandages. Yes, I have been doing that since I had it happen on my finger, but I must be getting worse because I've never had it that bad before.
Yeah, it was awful.
It was just like an irritation, but this looked like an entire blister.
A big open sore type
it
thing.
Literally peeled off the top of my skin. It was not pleasant. Paper tape. Nancy, that's interesting. I've never heard of paper tape. I don't know if that would work or not.
There is.
Where did you learn your frugal ways? She had no money. She had to do it. And Grandma was very frugal.
Who, me? Yeah, I had no choice. I had to. My mom taught me a lot of stuff because she had to be really careful because my dad did spend a lot of money. But if it's not there, back then you didn't have all these, you had welfare and stuff, but I didn't go on, really want to do any of that kind of stuff. So I just had to be careful. I just learned what was absolute necessity. You learn, it's like learning to swim by them throwing you in the pool, into the deep end and just say, go for it. When you're drowning, you're desperate and you learn how to swim real fast. So
how long will eggs last if we buy several dozen? So I don't know if this is true, if this is good advice or not, but I have used eggs that are 3 weeks expired and a month expired. So
I have too. I do it all the time.
They say if they float, they're no good anymore. So what I would do is I would say at least 3 weeks past the buy date on the thing.
And what I do sometimes,
if you get food poisoning, you didn't hear it from me.
Sometimes what I do in a case like this is I would buy a dozen or 2 dozen eggs the first day they go on sale. And then the day before they go off a sale, I'll go in and buy another dozen or 2 because they might be like a whole week's difference. You'd be surprised, or 2 weeks difference. So if you really want to stock up, you might try doing something like that too.
Hello, Crafty Shell. Glad you finally caught us. Joanne, I take large crochet bag to restaurants so I have room for leftovers. Oh my goodness, that's funny. Katie, I'm excited to buy chocolates on sale after Valentine's Day. There you go. Jody, how long do box cake mixes last? So they last a long time past the expiration date, a couple of years, but the baking powder in them can expire. So if you're using them as is, they can go about 6 months. But if it's longer than 6 months, you may need to add a half to a teaspoon of baking powder in them so that they will poof up. Robin, I bought a snowblower back in December. They had predicted big snow possible. Cape Cod and have not had any snow.
Isn't that the way it always works?
I guess at least it's peace of mind now. Yeah.
Yeah. And you'll probably eventually use it.
Bonnie wants to know what makeup you use.
The thing is, I have 3 different foundations that I've mixed together, and they're all different brands. So I loved Mary Kay the best, but I haven't been able to get it it was more expensive. And so I can't even remember what it was now. It was just a couple of things that were on sale and they weren't the right shade. That's what the main thing on makeup is you can mix this stuff to get a good shade. Like they had some for $4. I forget what, Revlon, I think it was, at Walgreens on sale for $4. And it was like $15 or something normally. Well, they didn't have the shade I needed. So what I did, I bought 2 of them, and a darker one and a lighter one, and I mixed them and I got the shade that I needed. So my makeup and Tara's both, well, I don't know about her foundation stuff, but I mix the lipsticks. I got like 4 different shades of lipstick stuff on tonight, and I just mix it. And so a lot of times it works better if you just mix some of those things. and you have to experiment. I didn't mean to make this so long, but it's really hard to find the right kind, especially for your type of skin. You know, like my skin's getting older, and the thin liquid stuff does not work for me. So I need something slightly heavier, and but you can't get it so heavy that it sticks in the cracks. So you just kind of have to experiment, but take it back. If you get it home and you try it once or twice and it's not working for you, I don't care if it's Walmart,
They take them back.
they take it back. So, because it's getting so expensive now, you can't afford just to keep buying this stuff. So take it back if it doesn't work.
Paula, Hubs had upper and lower GI done, but needs a camera pill to find where he is bleeding from. Nobody seems to have a camera that works. Ridiculous. Seriously. Crafting with Terry Lynn. She loves the beef stacked enchiladas in our dining on a dime.
Aren't those good? That's
Mom's
my
recipe.
favorite. I love those things.
Jim says, Mike, behind the scenes, there he is. Reminds him of the Wizard of Oz. No, we don't have that much snow here. We have no snow on the ground at the moment.
This was like a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that picture was from a few weeks ago. Ginger, my washer and dryer from 1992 and keeps going. Very good. Gail, would you like to show yourself there?
And I am the man behind the curtain.
Tara, you look so deep in thought. I hope you're doing all right. No, I'm just concentrating, trying to read
She
comments
has to
as I'm
read the
listening,
comments
and
answer, and then she's listening to what I'm saying. So
so I just have to
it's hard.
focus. Gail, I made the honey garlic chicken. My daughter made it the next day. She liked it so much. Yay! That's in volume 2, I think. I think it's this one, I think. Or, I don't know. I don't remember which one it's in. Jill, I used to do laundry folding party. So here's what I do for laundry. I just had everybody just wash their laundry about every 10 days to 2 weeks. And I just do one person per load now. And I don't have any sorting, no separating, nothing. And that has been the best thing ever. And I wish I would have done that my entire life. And let me tell you, if I ruined my washer 2 years earlier,
It was worth it.
it would be worth it. Because having 7 people at one point doing laundry, that would have way been worth it. I would have paid $200 not to do that. I mean, for the difference of wearing out a washer early.
Yeah.
Jill, I used to, or Vicky, my son-in-law didn't go to college. He's a service advisor, a car dealer, makes great income. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My son used to work at a car dealer and a
Oh, wow.
cell phone place, and he was just rolling in the dough. Now, I will tell you, the stress was extremely high. So yeah, Havana says, I asked for Laura Geller Foundation for Christmas and she loves it. I was wondering
wondering about that too. She's been advertising on TV, and I've heard a lot of good things, because years ago I used to watch, was it QVC she was on, I think, and I watched her a lot then. But
let's see. And Janet made our brownies the other night. So yummy. So tomorrow I am taking the fudge brownie recipe from Dining on a Dime. I'm filming this, so it'll come out probably the next week. But I am comparing 5 brownie boxes and my fudge brownie. We're going to see which ones wins. I don't know. My son's school is having a bake sale on Saturday. So I have 50 pieces of cheesecake in the freezer. I'm going to have 20 extra large brownies, and I'm going to have 20 Rice Krispie treats. We're filming, well, the cheesecake's already made, but tomorrow we're filming the brownies. So it'll be interesting to see. Mike is going to be our brownie connoisseur and see if which one he likes the best. Linda says, hello, y'all. I've been getting notifications for 2 months. I was thinking about you 2 days ago. Thank you.
oh,
We look awesome. She says, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Valley Badlands. One tornado we had, Dad was not well. As I was trying to get him in the truck and was complaining, I said, my name's not Dorothy and we're not in Kansas. Move it.
That's good.
Anna says, can't wait to get my Dining on a Dime cookbook 25% off in the description below. She says, I can't wait because my grocery bill went from $5.58 down to $213 for 2 adults. Wow, that's great. Well, when they were talking about $35 a week for groceries on the Dave Ramsey show, I'm like, how much are you spending on groceries for one person?
Yeah.
My goodness, what in the world are you buying for that amount? So, Linda, this is not my home kitchen. This is our studio kitchen. But we did get our home kitchen finished, and you can go back and see that video from June, I think it is. Joyce says when her mother died 5 years ago, it was $20,000 to bury her. Holy cow. That's just crazy. And Stephanie says my parents donated their bodies to Vanderbilt. Once finished, they sent the ashes to us. Okay.
I've never heard of that before.
Mike, I think we're going to donate you. They could learn a lot, I'm sure.
All the amazingness.
You'll be what?
I said they'd learn all the amazingness.
All the amazing things.
And Tara and I both laugh at that statement.
Oh, and Tawny says the German pancake with caramel syrup is my daughter's favorite. Yes, that is very delicious. You guys can get our cookbooks in the description below, 25% off right now. And all these recipes are on livingonadime.com. You can also get a free Bible if you would like one. We give them away for free if you cannot afford one. If you can't afford one, please go ahead and buy it. You may. And I forgot who it was, but she said her nail technician said that in the Philippines, they don't have a funeral home. They just go and the family just buries. Oh, here, it was Bonnie. She says there is no funeral parlors. The family just take them to the crematorium or bury their loved ones. Well, there you go. I don't know. So we're going to rename this show, How Do You Die? How Cheaply? How long does it take to get shipping, Anna? So we ship the next day. We ship Monday through Friday. So if you order today, it'll ship tomorrow. And it's been taking 3 to 5 days for most people, but it can take up to 2 weeks via media mail. But usually it's 3 to 5 days is what it usually is. So have a good night. We will see you guys later.
Bye-bye, guys.
livingonadime.com.
Love y'all.